Hello everyone, this is Prashad. Hello everyone, this is Prashad, your English educator. Welcome to the reading session day 19. In today's reading session, I'm going to read chapter 2 from the book, from the novel, The Legend of Spud Murphy. Before we read chapter 2, make sure you understand chapter 1. If you have any doubts, it's better to go back to chapter 1, read it and understand it. Then try to read chapter 2. Thank you. Here, she is Murphy, librarian. Here are two kids. One is Will and another one is Marty, right? Stay on the carpet, chapter 2. Of course, the little brothers thought this was hilarious. Nice knowing you, said Donnie, shaking my hand. Eth, said HP, the word whistling through the gap where his front teeth used to be. Nice knowing you, 5 years old and already a smart aleck. Of course, the little brothers thought this was hilarious. Hilarious means very fun. Nice knowing you, said Donnie. Will's little brother Donnie said, nice knowing you. And after that, HP said, yeah, the word whistling through the gap where his front teeth used to be. He did not have his front teeth. That's the reason his pronunciation is not clear. For saying nice, he's saying ninth. Yes, yes. He is, how old is he? He is 5 years old. And Will says he is smart aleck. Aleck means a stupid person. Can I have your Walkman? Asked Bat, who was already wearing it. Bat is using Walkman already. And after taking the Walkman, is asking for permission. Generally, what we do before we take anything from others, we have to ask for permission. Can I have it? May I have it like that? So these kids are very mischievous. They are unruly. I swatted them with my Action Man. Here, Action Man means it's a toy. Will's toy. That is Action Man. I swatted them with my Action Man. I refers to Will. He swatted them. He hit them with his Action Man, with his toy. Do you hear them, Mom? They are teasing us already. Oh, they don't mean it, said Mom. Do you, my little man? No, Mommy. Will complained that his younger brothers teasing them. Then Mom said, no, they don't mean it. Actually, they don't want to offend you. They don't want to laugh at you like that. And again asked the babies, do you, my little men? You have 3 younger children. Little men refers to the 3 younger children. They said, no, Mommy. Mom gave them a jelly baby each. I thought my head would pop with the unfairness of it all. What did Mom give to them? She gave a jelly baby each. Jelly baby means a candy, okay, to eat. And this is so unfair. This is not fair. Whatever they do, always Mom encourages them and she never blames them. Whatever happens, first of all, she blames me and my eldest brother, Marty. Now, Marty and Will, go upstairs and wash off the rest of my lipstick. We leave in 10 minutes. Mom told them, you go and get ready. You made the room dirty with lipstick and with mascara and everything. Please clean it. We leave in 10 minutes. Now we are going to library. Get ready fast. Like that, Mom said. There was no escape. They tried to escape. They complained against the librarian, but no use at all. Finally, Mom and Dad decided to send them to library to get rid of them because they are disturbing. They're not reading at home. They are bringing their friends and they are making the room dirty. They are making a hell of noise. They break the toilet basins and everything. Every 3 months, there is a complaint. Plumber should come for every 3 months. This is the reason. Finally, they came to one conclusion. We better send our children to library. So morning to evening, they read there. So the house will be peaceful. This is their plan. The children, these kids, Will and Marty, did not like to go to library, but their parents are forcing them to go to library. So there is no escape. We pleaded and winged for 10 minutes solid. They requested winged means complaint, but no use. Mom was not giving an inch. She is not going to change her opinion. She is not going to change her decision. The library will be good for you, she said, belting us tightly into the back seats of the car. You might even learn something. So they got ready, they got into car, and they're belting their seats. And she said, you might even learn something. What do you do at home? You're wasting your time. So if it is a library, you can learn something. You can read storybooks, you can read magazines, you can read anything, you can gain some knowledge. It's better. Like that, mom persuaded them to go to library. Already they're in car. As we drove away, we looked back towards the house. Johnny was at the bedroom window, enacting a little play for our benefit. As they were in car, they looked back. Who? Will and Marty looked back. Then they saw their little brother Johnny enacting a play, means performing a play for their benefit. How? What is that play? What is performing? We will see in the next paragraph. He had scrawled the name Spud. He refers to Donny. Donny scrawled the name, means Donny wrote the name Spud. What is the name? Spud. Across the front of his white t-shirt and was holding a small figure standing on the window ledge. He wrote a name, Spud, and he was holding a small figure, a toy, Will's toy, that is Action Man. My heart jumped. His heart began to beat faster. It was Action Man. Who was Donny talking to? Talking to Action Man, talking to toy. Whose toy is that? It is Will's toy. Donny's scolding grew more and more furious until eventually he picked up my unfortunate toy by the heels and began whacking him against the ledge. And he's scolding the toy, and finally he caught it up and hit it against the window. No, I squealed. Stop the car. Donny is killing Action Man. Mom laughed. Really, Will? Killing Action Man? You will have to come up with something better than that. But did not take it serious. Oh, he's killing your Action Man. He's killing your best friend. So don't worry, you will get better than that, like that mom said to Will. Through the window, I could see Beth and SB clapping wildly as Donny took a bow. Donny is performing. Donny was enacting that play, and audience were Beth and SB. They were clapping, they're encouraging him, and Donny felt proud. He took a bow. Okay, thank you, like that Donny said to his brothers. Mom dropped us at the library on the way downtown. She was going to her office and she dropped them at library and said, I will pick you up on my way home after I collect your dad from work. Okay, now I'm going to office. You stay here in the library, read your books. And while coming back, I will pick up your dad. And after that, I will pick you up too. Until then, be in the library, be disciplined. Don't make a noise. Don't misbehave there. Like that, my mom told everything to her children. We nodded. Okay, they shook their heads in agreement. Okay, both too scared to talk. They could not talk anything. Already they told everything, but his mother did not listen to them and dropped them at library. So they could not talk anything. Mom pointed her fingers at us like two imaginary guns. Try not to get spotted, okay? And she showed her fingers. Be careful. Stay in the library. Don't be mischievous. Don't misbehave. Try not to get spotted, okay? There is a librarian, you said. She uses that gun, right? Try not to get spotted. If you behave well, you won't get spotted. You won't get beaten. You won't be punished. Is it understood? Like that, mom said to Will and Martin. She was joking, but we couldn't laugh. They are not in a condition to laugh because they are so anxious. They're angry. They don't like to read at all. They don't want to stay in the library. We couldn't even manage a smile. They could not even smile. Her mother cracked a joke. Try won't to be spotted, okay? Try not to be spotted, she said. See, actually, it's a joke. Behave well like that. But they could not even smile. Mom would be sorry when she came back and our faces had been blasted by soggy potatoes. And in return, she came in the evening to pick up the kids. At that time, she observed they were not enthusiastic. They were so sad. Right, off you go up the steps. I'll just stay here to make sure you go inside. She left them there at library and she did not go because She wanted to make sure that children actually went to library, or else if she goes like that, they may stay outside until her mother comes there. That's the reason she was standing there only. First you go into library. Don't try to escape. I growled quietly. Ooh, like that. Will growled. Our plan had been to hide around the back for a few hours. What is their plan? After Mama left, after Mom left, we will stay back. We don't enter the library. We will stay there. Mom was smarter than we thought, but she was clever. She knew their plan. That's the reason she was standing there itself. We climbed the concrete steps to the library doors. They were going towards the library. I decided to go first because Marty told me to. Will decided to go first. Why? Because his eldest brother told Marty, you go first. You're probably wondering what we were so scared about. Scared means afraid. We're afraid to go there. They're afraid to see the librarian, first of all. I bet you're thinking that we were a pair of gutless chickens who would have been better off at home sewing our names onto handkerchiefs. I bet you are thinking that we are a pair of gutless chickens, means timid people. We are two timid people who would have been better off at home. We are thinking it's better to stay at home, try to read something, try to learn something. But that's because you think libraries are happy, colorful places where the librarians actually like children. Actually, libraries are happy, colorful places. Librarians actually like children, but here the librarian is very serious and very strict with the children. That may be what most of them are like, but this one is different. But many libraries will be like that, maximum libraries, but this library is different. It was a place where serious men read serious books and nobody was allowed to show even a glimpse of smile. It was a place, this is the place in your library, in this library, they read books seriously and nobody was allowed to show even a glimmer of smile. Nobody is allowed to even smile. Forget about the law, forget about the talking. They are not supposed to even smile. They have to read the book seriously. That's the reason here these two kids are very mischievous. Always they make fun. Always they jump. They make a hell of noise. But it will be very difficult for them to stay in the library. A smile could get you thrown out. A titter could get you spotted. Here what happens? A smile could get you thrown out. If anybody smiles, they'll be thrown out. Get out from here. You are not supposed to come here. Like that librarian comes and tells them. A titter means laugh. If they laugh, they will be punished. Spotted means they will be punished with that potato. She will use that gun. And if you laughed aloud, you were never seen again. If you laughed aloud, what happens? And the next day onwards, there is no place in library. They'll be dismissed. A little boy rushed out of the library straight into Marty. The boy had tears coming out of his eyes, and someone had obviously been dragging him along by the scarf. As they were entering the library, a little boy running towards them. Okay, the boy had tears. He had tears in his eyes. And someone had obviously been dragging him along by the scarf. He had a scarf, he had a cloth. Okay, and somebody was dragging him and he's running. He's trying to escape. He's trying to go out of the library. He grabbed Marty's jumper. Jumper means sweater. He held the Marty's jumper. Don't go in there. And he's informing them. Don't go in there. He cried. For the love of God, don't do it. I was one day late with the 5 go-to smugglers talk. Just one day. And look what she did to me. See my condition. Don't go inside. The librarian is very strict. I was late. One day late only. I forgot to return the book. 5 go-to smugglers talk. This is one book. Children's book. He borrowed that book from the library and delayed in one day. He did not return that book. And that is the reason librarian is after him and trying to beat him. So he was running and informed Marty and Will, don't go inside. See my condition. Look at me. And I borrowed the book. I forgot to return it. See him now. I am being beaten up. And just like that, the boy was gone, trailing a wrinkled scarf behind him with only a puddle of tears to prove that he had ever been there. So informed that and he ran away from that place. Wait, we cried after the fleeing figure. Who is fleeing figure? That boy, somebody. Okay, is a fleeing figure means here the little boy who informed them about librarian, about the condition there. But he wait, they tried to stop him to get more information about the librarian, but already he fled away from there. Tell us what Spud did to you. Tell us what librarian did to you. Spud here is the nickname of that librarian, Murphy. And children gave her name Spud Murphy. So what did she do to you? Tell me. But the boy did not wait there. But it was no use. The boy had disappeared into the back of a dark car and sped off to safety. The boy had disappeared and he was not there. They wanted to talk to him. They wanted to gain more information from him about the librarian, but the boy left immediately in fear. There was a porch outside the library. The porch walls were covered with posters about things like book groups and art competitions, all very educational. We looked at the pictures on the posters in a way. Porch means of the building. So on the walls of that porch, some posters are there, and book groups and art competitions, and everything. Some posters are there related to book reading and related to competitions, all very educational. We looked at the pictures on the posters anyway. They looked at the posters. Anything to put off going into the library itself and facing Spud Murphy. Why are they stopping? They don't want to go inside. That's the reason. They just want to pass the time. So they are looking at the poster. They're looking outside, looking at the trees outside, everything. They want to put off, delay going into the library because they don't want to go into the library. They don't want to face. They don't want to face a librarian Murphy. We stayed there until mom came up the steps and knocked on the window. They stayed there only, but her mother did not go because their mother did not go to office. She had a doubt. The children don't want to go, so they may spend their time outside itself. So that is the reason she came upstairs and observed them. They were standing there and informed them to go inside. We had no choice but to go inside. There is no choice at all because mother came already to tell them to go inside. It was just as a fear. There was nothing in there but books just waiting to jump off the shelves and bore me silly. They seemed to watch me from their perches. I imagined them elbowing each other. They entered and they saw the books. There are many books in the shelves and they are about to come out. Okay, he was just imagining that books are waiting for us to, and it was a boring task. Books reading is a boring task. We want to play all the time. We don't want to read books. But the books on the shelves he felt like that. He just imagined they were looking at them. Look, they said, 2 more kids having too much fun. We will soon put a stop to that. Look, the books were talking like that. He just his imagination. 2 more kids came there, Will and Marty, and they are having too much fun. We will soon put a stop to that. The library seemed to go on forever. Row after row of wooden bookshelves bolted to the floor at the bottom and the ceiling at the top. So this is the description of the library, and there are so many books in the shelves. It's wooden. They all are wooden bookshelves that bolted to the floor. They are attached to the floor at the bottom and the ceiling at the top. Each row had a ladder with wheels on the upper end. Those ladders would have made great rides, but there was 0 chances of children ever being allowed to actually have fun in here. What do you want? Each row on the upper end, those ladders would have made great rides, but there was 0 chances of children ever being allowed to actually have fun in here. What do you want? Said a voice from the other side of the library. There are ladders. They wanted to enjoy, but there is no chance at all. As they were looking at the bookshelves and everything, they had a noise. What do you want? Said a voice from the other side of the library. My heart speeded up at the very sound of that voice. That voice was very harsh, not smooth at all. What do you want? And his heart began to beat faster. It was like 2 pieces of rusted metal being rubbed together. The voice is not melody. Okay, it's not smooth. 2 rusted metals, if they rub together, what kind of cling noise comes? No, like that. Her voice is like that. I held my breath and looked across the huge room. He held his breath. He was so anxious. He was so afraid. He was so scared. And looked across the huge room. It's a huge room, very big room. Huge means very big. An elderly woman was leaning on a massive wooden desk, her knuckles bigger than acorns. And they looked at the elderly woman. She was leaning on a massive wooden desk. Massive means a very big wooden desk. Her knuckles bigger than acorns. Acorn is a fruit. Her knuckles are bigger than acorns. Her gray hair was tied back so tightly that her eyebrows were halfway up her forehead. She looked surprised and angry at the same time. It was Spud Murphy, without a doubt. Her gray hair, okay, black and white. The color black and white mixed, the color is called gray, tied back so tightly that her eyebrows were halfway up her forehead. Eyebrows were on the forehead because she tied her hair so tightly. She looked surprised and angry at the same time. She looked surprised. Spud Murphy, without a doubt. So finally, they understood it was this woman is Spud Murphy only, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. I said, "What do you want?" She repeated, banging the desk with an ink stamp. Again, she repeated the same question. "What do you want? What are you doing here?" We walked across to her desk, clinging to each other like two frightened monkeys. They walked across to her desk because she was calling, she was asking, "What do you want?" So both went there in fear. There was a whole box full of ink stamps on the desk and two more hooked into her belt like six shooters. Six shooters means it's a pistol, it's a gun. Okay, so many ink stamps are there in the on the desk, and two ink stamps are hooked into her belt like they are pistols. So always she carries those ink stamps. Spud Murphy glared down from a great height. She was big, and she looked down at the children. These kids are too very short, and she looked down. She was very serious. She was big, taller than my dad, and wider than mom and my two aunties strapped together. How is this old woman? How is this elderly woman? Taller than my dad. She is taller than my dad and wider than mom means very stout. What they want to say is this woman is so stout, so fat, wider than my mom and my two aunties. My mom and two aunties, if they are strapped together, how big they look, how wide they look. So this woman, this only one woman is as wide as two aunties plus my mom. Her arms were skinny like a robot's, and her eyes were like two black beetles behind her glasses. Her arms were skinny like a robot's, and how her eyes look like? They look like a beetles. Beetle is an insect. Okay, with the blue color. In Mummy movie, you might have seen the eyes, the beetles insects you might have seen. So her eyes are like that. Mom says we have to join the library. I said a full sentence, not bad under the circumstances. Then finally they said, Mom says we have to join the library. My mother dropped us here and we are here to read books. That's all I need, grumbled Spud. Two more urchins messing up my shelves. She took a pen and two cards from her drawer. Two more urchins means two more mischievous children came here. Who said? Murphy said. And she took a pen and two cards from her drawer. Name, she asked. Mrs. Murphy, I stammered. Okay, he stammered. Mrs. Murphy. Murphy is asking their name, and he said in confusion, Mrs. Murphy. Spud shied. Oof, not my name, dummy. Your names. Not asking my name, your names. Like that, she shouted at the children. William and Martin Woodman. I shouted like an army cadet. How did he reply? William and Martin Woodman. Like that, like an army cadet, like an army student. Yes, sir. They say like that, right? So like that, he said, Will said, my name is William and my brother's name is Martin, Martin Woodman. And our parents call them Will and Marty. We had surrendered our names and our address was Nest. I was a bit worried about that. Now Spud knew where we lived and could track us down if we ever forgot to return a book. We surrendered our names and we gave our address. Now, if we forget to return the book, she will track us down. That means she knows our address. She will directly come to our house. Like that, they were afraid. The librarian filled in the cards, stamping them with the library crest. So filled in the cards, you are their names and address, and stamped on the cards with the library crest. That stamp with that stamp. Pink coats, he said, handing them to us. Pink means junior. Pink means you stay in the junior section of the library. These are pink coats. That means you're in junior section. You're not allowed to go to another section where the elderly people come and read the books. Okay, you need not read those books. You have to read your books, like kids' books. Marty noticed that the toilets were in the grown-up section. Marty noticed Will's eldest brother Marty noticed the toilets were in the grown-up section. What if you have to go? Spud threw the stamp back in the box, slamming the lid. Think ahead, she said. Go before you get here. She ordered them to go to children's section. Spud led us down long aisles of wooden flooring to the children's section. Then Spud said, come on, Murphy. Librarian said, come with me, follow me fast. And she led them to the children's section. She wore woolly slippers on her feet that polished the planks as she glided. The floor is wooden floor. So she wore woolly slippers on her feet that polished the planks, that polished the floor as she glided. Glided means moved. That, she said, pointing a knobby finger, is the children's section. She showed, that is the children's section. She showed her finger and said, that is the children's section. The section was actually a single box shelf with 4 rows of books. Only one shelf will be there and 4 rows of books. Okay. On the ground before, it was a small patch of worn carpet. And you can see there is a carpet. You are supposed to sit on the carpet. And until you finish reading, you are not supposed to move from the carpet. Like that, she gave the instructions to the little kids. Do not set foot off that carpet until you leave, she warned. She warned. What is the warning? Do not set foot off that carpet. You are supposed to sit on the carpet. Don't move, she warned them. Whatever boy's idea interest you had, ignore it. If you want to be mischievous, if you try to behave mischievously, okay, ignore. If any thought comes to your mind, ignore it. Stay on the carpet or there will be trouble. You will have to face the trouble if you don't stay on the carpet. She bent over almost double until her beetle eyes were level with my own. She bent over almost double. She bent and looked into their eyes and gave the warning. It's clear. You are supposed to stay on the carpet. Never set off your foot, or else you will be in trouble. You will have to face the problems. Is that understood? I nodded. Will nodded, agreed. It was understood, no doubt about it. Thank you. This is the chapter 2 from the novel, The Legend of Spud Murphy. And in the next session, I will read chapter 3 of the book. Thank you. See you in the next session. Until then, take care. Bye.